Hi everyone, this is Richard Booth, PGA Professional at Hale Golf Club, and welcome to another video to help you with your golf game. This week's going to be part two of looking at the grip. So we're going to look at the right hand, we're going to look at linking the hands together, and we're going to look at strong and weak grip. So it's going to be really useful to watch last week's video if you haven't already. So we're going to assume that you've perfected the left hand grip. So there's my left hand. So the job of the right hand is to get the lifeline of my right hand. So if I turn my thumb in there, you can see that crease going down my right hand. So the job there is to get that crease to sit over my thumb there. So now my right thumb is on the left side of the grip. So it's quite tricky to show, but you'll notice that the heel pad on the right hand near my thumb goes on top of that left thumb, and the other heel pad at the back goes underneath that thumb. So if I do it without a club, you'll see that my thumb fits in there and then they link together. Okay, so that's incorrect, that's incorrect. It just fits nicely together and they merge to become one. Here's the full grip, and I've got this V pointing at my right shoulder, and the V on my right hand is also going to point at my right shoulder. Again, I'm gripping it within my fingers. Now we need to look at how we link the hands. So we don't want it to be like hockey where there's a big gap between your hands. We want the hands to work as a unit. Okay, so there's three grip types you can have. You can have the 10-finger grip where the index finger of the left hand and the small finger of the right hand just touch. You can have the overlapping grip where the small finger of the right hand sits over this gap between the index finger and the longest finger of the left hand. Or you can have the interlocking grip there, which used by Jack Nicklaus and Tiger Woods. Now, which grip to use? The most common grip, I would say, is the overlapping grip, and so if you're in any doubt, I'd go with this one. So to do the overlapping grip, put your left hand on as normal, get the small finger of your right hand, put that in the gap between the index finger and the longest finger, then make sure these other three fingers are actually on the grip. Sometimes I see this finger somehow starts hovering on that hand. So there's just the one finger there. These three fingers go on the actual grip, and then we're into that kind of position. Often when I'm coaching juniors, I don't worry too much about getting overlapping or the interlocking grip straight away. I just try and get a 10-finger grip, but make sure there's not too much of a gap between them. If you've got small fingers, maybe the interlocking grip might be the one for you rather than the one I've just gone through, the overlapping grip. But that's the only one I'm going to discuss here, because I think for the majority of people that's probably the way to go. So I mentioned this in the last video, just leave a club hanging around so that you can, we were doing it last time where you were just practicing the left hand grip. Now leave a club lying around so you can practice your left hand and your right hand, the complete grip. What will probably happen is initially it might take you 10 or 15 seconds to put your hands on the grip. It's going to feel very contrived, but once you've done that 100 times or whatever it might be, you're going to get to the stage where instead of it being a painting by numbers process where you're doing this and then gradually doing it, you can just get your hands on the club correctly. Okay, and that's what you need to get. When we get back on that lovely golf course, that's what you're going to need to be able to do. We don't want you to taking too long getting the grip. We want it to be second nature, because there's other things to worry about there, such as the target and hitting the ball where we want to. The final thing I want to discuss on the video is strong, weak and neutral grips. When you understand this, it can make a big difference. If you're slicing the ball too much and you want to reduce that, well, often the easiest thing to do is change your grip. Okay, so a neutral grip is what we've been working on. So we put our hands on, and so that the V's are pointing at our right shoulder. A strong grip is if, for a right hander this is of course, if we turn our hands clockwise on the grip, this way, so that the V's are now pointing over here somewhere to the outside of my right shoulder. And the reason it's called a strong grip is that makes the ball more likely to hook or reduce the slice. So it's a more powerful flight. A weak grip, on the other hand, is when you turn your hands anti-clockwise on the grip, so the V's are now pointing at your chin or your left shoulder. Next time you get a chance to hit balls at the range, work on your normal grip, hit some shots, work on a strong grip, see how it affects the ball flight, and then try a weaker grip. Really useful skills to have. You know, if you need to hook the ball around a tree, if you practiced on the range learning how to hook it, just often by changing your grip, it can be really useful. And obviously the ball will fly lower. When you use a weaker grip, it won't go as far, it's more likely to slice, and it's probably going to go a little bit higher. That's how we're going to finish this second of the two videos on grip. There's quite a lot of detail because it's so important, and if there's a few simple takeaways, it's predominantly grip the club in your fingers, it's learn how the ball flight changes based on how you grip it, so experiment with that and get your hands working together as a unit. There's no substitute for just getting to the range, hitting shots. When you're hitting shots, or at the moment just making swings in your garden, just pay attention to when you swing back and forth. If your hands are moving at all on the club during the swing, then there's something not quite right, and that's going to cause power leaks and loss of accuracy. So important stuff to work on. Thanks for watching this video, and see you next time.